In case you don't know, my name is Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok, an American who's been living here for the past 30 years. And today we are going to talk about a few things that supposedly make a long-term relationship work. And I say supposedly because you never know if they're going to make them work, make the relationship work or not. But I got a message yesterday, a comment yesterday, and I think it's a great comment because he's got a lot of good points and points that I've made before, and I think we need to talk about it. So that's why we are here. Right now, 33.69 Thai baht to the dollar. The air quality is 147. I don't know what to say about that. You know, the Thai government really needs to do something about the pollution, and doing something like giving people a week on the BTS or MRT. Oh, that's very nice. But all that does is uh, basically deflect. It makes people think, oh, wow, we get this. It's going to really help. It's only a week. They need to do it all the time. They need things like that all the time. They need to crack down and really crack down, not crack down, say they're going to crack down, and then not really crack down all that much. And Thailand has some of the strictest emissions laws uh, in all the world, but they don't enforce them. So, you know, that's something that you got to think about and take into consideration when you look at this. And I mean, I've been in some high rises. I've been up fairly high, and I look out at the horizon, and it's just not good. I mean, you look, and there's so much smog and haze, and it's it's not good, you know. And that's all I can say. I mean, and then, you know, it's like every day, I hate to say this, but every day I walk by a couple of canals and I look in there and I go, these canals are filthy. What can you do? You know? Uh, I don't know, but it's just the burning, Jim. What are you going to do? You're going to say the burning is what causes water pollution, ground pollution. The other day I came out of my village, and the village is very clean. But when you come out of the village, there's like a lot, and that lot is just filled with garbage. You go down a little ways, down the street a little ways, and there's, you know, condos and stuff like that. But on the left side of the road is nothing but garbage. Then you go down another place down the near La Prau, and they have a huge lot, and guess what? It's full of garbage. You can't do that. You just can't have that. I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe they don't have the funds. They say they don't have the funds. But that's something that's very important. And a cleaner Thailand, I hate to say this, means more tourists, even though there's so many tourists right now. And I've been taking the SkyTrain and the subway back and forth to the hospital. And I've been taking it at some non-rush hour times. And all I can say is, first of all, they're jam-packed. I mean, maybe not the BTS. Sometimes the BTS, I mean, I can get a seat. It's not all that difficult. Especially just coming from the Malbankapi. There's very few people on the train. By the time I get to Lat Pral, it's full. But okay, I get a seat. It's not that bad. You get to the MRT. The MRT, you're lucky if you can get in one on one train. You might have to wait for a second train. Then when you go onto the train, there's no room. Now, I take the canal boat also. The canal boat is probably 60%, 60 to 70% Thai, another maybe 10, 20% Burmese, and then another maybe 10% foreigner, Westerner. The BTS is mainly Chinese and Korean, and then maybe 50% are Thai. There's foreigners too, but I'd say they're maybe 10, 20%. But the Chinese and the Koreans and the Japanese, they make up a huge percentage. So my point is that the public transportation is full. It's jam packed. So it's just, I don't know that. I mean, it's great that people are doing that, but then it's like, okay, when do you stop with the tourism? And if you listen to the government, you don't. It makes the country money. They need the money. And I don't understand, well, what are they doing with their money? Where does all the money go? The garbage situation can be somewhat attributed to local provincial attitudes. I've been through some provinces that are appalling. Others are spotless. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, in Bangkok, it's not about the provinces. It's just about if people want to take care of their areas or not. I mean, I've been into some provinces. There's some little sub-provinces in Bangkok that are pretty clean because they've made an effort to clean up. And then I've been in other places where it's just disgusting. So I guess if you want more tourists, make a cleaner Thailand. That's just what I think. Now, that's just part of the problem. The ground pollution, the water pollution, the air pollution. Okay, yeah. Listen, it's been, you can say that for the past 30, 40, 50 years, Thailand has always had these problems. You can say that. But they've gotten worse. And, I'll talk about the relationship thing in a minute here, but yesterday I had a conversation with one of Alex's friends. And he said to me, Thailand is not cheap anymore. And I said, what? It's not cheap. And he makes good money. He has a good salary, more than most. And he was saying to me, it's expensive here now. It's not cheap. And I said, well, it's all about relativity. If you've got, $50 million in the bank, then, spending $20 for $30 for some salmon is not a big deal. But, if you're making, maybe you're making $2,000, $3,000, the salmon might be expensive, right? So it's all relative. However, the cost of living in Thailand has gone up quite a bit. And you can say, oh, well, not as much as the U.S. Okay, I understand that. But in the U.S., listen, under Biden, things went up, and that's just how it is. And hopefully they will go down. I don't know that they will. Usually what goes up doesn't come down, at least in Thailand. The prices go up, they don't bring the prices down. So, there it is there. You're going to have to, you just have to deal with it. And, that's the thing. Like, I was talking to my mother about this, and she said, it used to be you could get avocados for dirt cheap. She used to get them for free. But, okay, that's a different story. And then if you're paying $5 for a nice big avocado, right? And it goes up, let's say it goes up to $10. Well, what do? Well, if you don't have the money, you don't buy avocados, right? Here in Thailand, using avocados just as an example, but avocados are expensive. They're 89 or 99 baht, usually 99 baht for one little avocado, which I can eat very easily. I mean, it's like I can eat that and it's nothing. It doesn't even scratch the surface. Now you can get Thai avocados, but they're not as good, right? They're cheaper. You get them maybe you get 5 for 89 baht or something like 99 baht, something like that. But in the grocery now, the avocados are usually around 99 baht for one. And it's imported, but that is a good avocado. That's the tasty, fatty, yummy avocados. So, do I buy avocados all the time? No, because I don't want to spend 99 baht on one avocado. To me, it's not worth it, you know. So, anyway, today we are going to talk about the 12 keys to making a long-term relationship work. Do me a favor, click the thumbs up if you don't mind. If you like this stream, subscribe if you have not done so already. Look down in the description. You can always make a super chat. You can use the Cash App. You can buy a T-shirt. You can just watch. You can use Patreon. Become a patron on Patreon, or you can get something from Amazon, like one of my books. There's a lot of things you can do, but you can always just watch, and that helps quite a bit, and I appreciate it. And subscribe and share the video. Share if you want to. Maybe you're going to give this to a buddy of yours who just is out there and he's just going hog wild on some girl. He's giving her everything, and he thinks, oh, she's the love of my life. And, you know, she's some chick that has been working at the Tahitian Queen for years, you know, and he doesn't need to be involved with her. Maybe you need to send him a video. Anyway, all right, so we're going to get started here with this is a message, a comment that I got from a guy. And, you know, I don't usually read a lot of comments. I only read the best ones. But this is a pretty good one. All right. This is from a guy named Testy Man 5045. And you know what? We don't have very many people yet. Maybe I need to wait a couple more minutes, huh? Well, he's got actually more than 12. But I have some of the same ones. I've said some of the same things that he says. And I don't know how he came about everything, but I dare say that he knows a little bit. At least he knows a little bit about women and dealing with Thai women. Because, I mean, my number one rule is do not get emotionally involved with a bar girl. So simple. Don't get emotional. It's not an emotional connection. You may think it is, but that may be because she's giving you the girlfriend experience. Okay. So, all right, let's get started here. His number one rule is do not get emotionally involved with women of the night, broadly construed, which is exactly what I say, what I've been saying for more than I've been YouTubing. It's been much longer than since when I've been YouTubing. And I've been saying this because I learned it from many other people. You just don't get emotionally involved. And that will save you so much grief. It's so simple. And yet so many people can't do it. They think that they meet somebody and that the girls are just the same as every other girl. They're not. I hate to tell you this. They're not the same. They're not the same as a girl who is a good girl and she works in an office building and she's making decent money and she's, you know, she's happy, and they're not the same. You may think they're the same. You may look at them and go, oh, she's really so sweet, and she may be sweet. But when it comes down to it, 99% of them are in the business for one reason, and that's to make money. It's not because they want to fall in love. They're not coming to Bangkok because they want to meet the guy of their dreams and go off to Sweden or, you know, Switzerland or America. That's not what's happening. All right? So that's one of his rules. My rule is just do not get emotionally involved with a bar girl. His number two rule, do not put your full trust in a woman if the night girlfriend experience is not actually a real relationship. Well, I would just say if it's not real, then why would you trust them? Why would you put your trust in someone that you know their number one motive is money? You know, I mean, why would you do that? Now, listen, this is coming from me, and I've been married like 26 years. I don't know how. It just happens. I don't know why I said to myself, oh, I have to get married. Maybe it was because I've been through the ringer and I've been through a lot of women. And I just thought, this one is a good one. She's a keeper. And I'm going to lose her if we don't get married. We don't bring the connection up to another level. So if you can't trust them, then what is the point of being married to them? What is the point of getting even into a relationship with them? Why would you do that? If you can't trust them, then basically all they are is a piece of tail. That's all they are. Use them and, okay, thank you, bye. See you later. Very simple. Number 3, have some Thai language skills to evaluate her. Now, I don't think it's necessarily to evaluate her, but I do say, and I have said for quite a long time, you need to be able to speak the language. If you don't speak the language, you have no business getting into a long-term relationship. I don't care if she speaks good English and you don't speak a word of Thai. It's not okay. You know why? Because you have no concept of the culture. You have no concept of the country and their ways and the people, and you just don't know anything. So give yourself 6 months to a year to learn some of the language. And until then, don't get serious with anybody. And I mean, by the time I got involved, I spoke pretty good Thai. I didn't go in and go, what your name? My name's Scott. Your name what? What? I didn't do that. There was none of that. So that's something very important. And you know what? It's so easy to learn the language. And I use Jono as an example because, he's older and he doesn't really want to learn the language, but he knows it's good for him. And then he told me, I don't know, day before yesterday, hey, I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, why do I need to really learn the language here when I don't go anywhere? And, he's not doing that much. I go, listen, you'll just learn more things and it'll just be better for you in the long run. Well, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're traveling all over the country and stuff like that. And listen, being in the hospital with Alex, and some of the hospital we're in, they don't speak great English in the hospital. And so here I am speaking Thai to them, and all of a sudden I just went, wow, my level of Thai goes up because I have to speak it. When you have to speak it, when you need to use it for something, generally you will get better and better very quickly. If you don't really need it and you're just, you may not go up that quickly. You may not learn and increase your skills all that quickly. See, Alex is going through his ritual right now of eating, which is a huge ritual. If you guys, know, he had his jaw broken electively. He had his jaw broken because his jaw was a little askew, and so right now it's wired shut. So he's drinking protein drinks, he's drinking broth, he's drinking milk, he's drinking juice. So we've got him a couple of syringes, and then you put a stomach tube to the syringe. He puts the syringe on his knee, the tube goes into his mouth, he pushes down, and then the juice goes into his mouth, whatever it is, goes into his mouth, and he can drink it at his leisure. Where if my wife or I are feeding him, it's a little more difficult because you're squeezing it into his mouth. First of all, it's not as big of a syringe. So with this, he the way he's doing it now, he has a 50 milliliter syringe, which is pretty large. Um, and probably in another week or so, he can start drinking a little bit thicker, like shakes. But right now, he's just drinking liquids, and we're trying to keep his calories up, which is not easy. But going into the hospital and speaking with the nurses and speaking Thai to them, all of a sudden I remember, oh yeah, I remember this word, that word. And I've been in several Thai hospitals. And so I know different words. I know, hey, call the nurse. What kind of pain medicine is he on? All these kind of things. I know how to say these things. So it makes it easier. Uh, so I think you do need to learn the language. I don't care if it's for a woman or whatever. If it's not for any other reason than you go somewhere and you act like you don't speak a word of Thai and you just listen. Oh, what did you say? I'm not sure. Oh, and you're listening to them and you hear everything they're saying. So you know what they're talking about. You know if they're talking about you, if they're scammers, whatever. That's a good reason. The other reason is you can communicate with them, right? I mean, Um, Number 4, find a woman with a stable standard job. Now, by standard job, he means not working in a bar, an entertainment, pay for play type job. A standard job. Could be selling fruit, could be selling clothing, it could be working in the cosmetics department, it could be either a cashier, they work at 7-Eleven, they wherever, whatever. Maybe they're an accountant, a doctor, who knows. After someone who has absolutely no skills and is just basically a laborer. And then the problem is that means they rely on you. So, if you're willing to have an orphan, which is what you're doing, you're basically taking care of them and they rely on you. If that's what you want, then go for it. Now, you know what? There's not many people today. I don't know what's going on here. But maybe I should do this stream another day because I don't like doing streams when there's only 10, 11 people. It's just not worth it. And we got one guy talking, and that's it. So I don't know what's going on today. Maybe today's not a good day because I don't usually stream on Wednesday, and I don't usually only put up the fact that I'm streaming, an hour before I'm going to stream. Usually I give it a day or two. But um, yeah, only 10 people. Hello, Cyrus. How you doing? What's happening? Good of you to join me. Now we have 14 people. Oh, well, that's great. Good, good, good. More people coming in. Maybe I should just wait a couple of minutes until they come in. But, if you just remember the one rule that I say, and that this guy he said it, that basically the same thing. Well, I got other things to take care of, Jim. I'm sorry, but I got other responsibilities, and Alex is my responsibility right now because he we have to prepare everything for him. He has to get all his food ready, and then now he's eating by himself. But it's a ritual. He's got to use mouthwash and water, rinse his mouth out. He's got to get water, rinse his mouth out, let all the phlegm come out of his chest. Then he has to take medicine. Then he has to start eating. And, it's like he eats. Today he had butterscotch protein, a bottle of that. He had apple juice. He had broth that my wife made from pork and carrots and several other things, onions. So he just takes the broth, and we have to strain it. And then what else does he have? He has regular milk. He has water. Uh, yeah, I thought about just streaming on Friday, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever. What else does he have? I think that's about it. But you know, that's a lot actually. A box of juice, a box of milk, a bottle of protein, broth, um, water. And by the time he does that, you know, and then it's after that, he has to rinse his mouth out. He has to brush his teeth, which we have to get him a special toothbrush, a baby toothbrush. Um, and then he uses the mouthwash again. Oh, he takes his medicine before that. And then what else does he do? Oh, he has to put Vaseline on his lips. And then we've got ice bags. Um, and so what he does is he puts the ice bag on his face. He's got ice bags on his face. They're wrapped around. Then he goes in his room and he lays down. And he goes to sleep. Then he wakes up and he's got to do it all over again. So it's a ritual and it's something that he needs to do. And you know, hopefully it will change. Anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks at least. So you know, it's no fun. I listen. I wouldn't. I've said this several times and to many people already. I would not wish this upon anyone. You know, having your jaw wired shut and just drinking liquids. It sucks. And you know, he's been pretty good about the pain. Um, yeah, I mean, the pain is not. It's not something that has been really. It's just an irritant, really. But hopefully, this will be for the better because his jaw will be straight and it won't affect his speech and everything will be good. And, you know, so that's what we're hoping. Man, it's getting hot in here. Oh, we can't let the cats come near him because the cats want to jump on him. You know, Alex, you still here? What are you doing? Using the mouthwash? Okay. Yeah, he can't talk. So he types on the phone. So, you know, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Um, anyway, let's get back to it here. Alex, has your mother left? She has? No? Oh, okay. Um, asking for money too soon, under 6 months, or too much in the long term. Um, really? Why do you have to fork over anything? Why? You know, I understand you want to help out. They need it. Blah blah blah. They're good. Oh, you know, and I know people. Their girls are making, you know, making peanuts. They're making 10,000, 12,000 a month, and so they supplement their income. I understand that, but you know, for the most part, you don't need to do it if you find the right girl. Number 6, short period of time and she has problems. I would say that goes for any, it doesn't matter where they come from, what they're doing, any woman. If that's what they're doing, oh, my buffalo died. Oh, Papa's sick. Oh, I have to pay for a motorcycle. I know money. There you go, right there. Number 7, do not go for a woman who wants you to pull her out of poverty. Seek someone of similar socioeconomic status in society, and that's where it makes things a little more difficult. It makes it more difficult to find a person that you want to be with. It's not always easy to find that, and you know, if you're gonna if you really want to find that, then you have to wait. Sometimes you have to wait. You're not going to find that all the time. And listen, you want to go out and find some party girl. You want to go to the bars and, oh, I can get the girls easy. Yeah, I understand that. But that's not, if you're looking for something long term, that may not be exactly what you want. And I see guys all the time. There was some chick, they look like they belong in a bar. They got tattoos all over them. They're slathered in gold. And I mean, it's just like, no, that's not normal Thai society. Now, sometimes people wear gold, of course, but they're not slathered in tattoos. They don't talk a certain way. Most, they're not like that. You need to understand that. If you want a decent girl, she shouldn't be going out and like showing her ass all the time and showing her breasts, and that kind of girl is probably not the kind that you want to be with long term. Listen, short term, anything goes, right? You have your fun, you do your thing, you're friends with them. You can have it all. You can have it however you want. But I'd say, for the most part, you don't need that kind. I mean, that's just how I think. What do I want some chick who's going around and her nipples are sticking out? I don't want that. I mean, listen, if she's at home, okay, it's not bad, right? But if you're going out with her and all the time and she's going out, of course other guys are looking at her. They're staring at her. Maybe you walk away. They come up, hey, babe, what's up? Hey, you don't know what's going on. You don't want that. Believe me. So, and if they're mired in poverty, they don't really need you. They need the way out. They need to move it on up. And like I always say, they need to do the George Jefferson, move it on up. And yeah, okay, I understand everybody wants to move it on up. But you don't want to get some girl, I mean, listen, you want to find some, little girl that basically she's from the farm, she doesn't know much. Hey, they can be great. I mean, they can be great for whatever. But they got to have the right mindset. They have to have the mindset that they don't want to be like that forever, you know. And I think that's something that you have to wade through. You have to try to find that. Number 8. Stick with an educated and intelligent woman. Okay, they can be intelligent, but not necessarily educated. And that's all right too. But I would say if you want one that's educated and intelligent, then what happens is the scope of women that you have to choose from shrinks. Because if you're some guy who's like hanging out in the bars all the time, hey, you might meet one and she's young and cute. She looks good. She checks all the marks for you. You love having sex with her. And you're like, okay, well, this is the one. But then you find out, she doesn't have much upstairs. Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she has street smarts. But I would say if you try to get yourself an educated and intelligent woman, that's a good start. Because you know what? I'll tell you one thing that I did. One thing that I thought of when I got with my wife. And I had other women, and to me, they weren't all that intelligent. It wasn't like I could sit there and talk to them. And, if I needed to, it wasn't really possible. They may not understand. They may understand, they may not, right? The one thing is that I said to myself, if for whatever reason I croak, is it possible for her to take care of my kids? If you're going to have kids. And I went, yes, it is. And it's not possible because she's going to go, work at the G-spot or something like that. And that's what happens with some of these girls. Guys go in, they're here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They go into a place, they meet some girl, they go, oh, she's great, oh, fantastic. And next thing you know, they're in this full-fledged relationship where they're seeing each other every day. She's living with him, she's staying with him at his hotel. Maybe she's got a kid which, that's another story right there. Why would you get involved with her when she's got a kid and maybe, the kid is 5 years old, something like that, and she still has to see the ex-husband? He'll have no idea what they're going through, what they're doing. He may be banging her on the side every once in a while, but he's like, nope, we can't be together. And she's like, well, okay, whatever, but maybe one day we'll get back together. You don't know what's going on. You want them as problem-free as possible. All right, this one, allow her to bring a chaperone on only a couple of dates. Now, for me, I would say one or two at the most. That's it. If they don't want to go out with you after that, I don't know. I don't see it working. I don't see, after, you go out, oh, you go out with one of their friends and you go out with another one of their friends. Okay, fine. You've been out twice. What else do you need? Do I have to, go out with everybody? Do I have to meet your family before we decide we're going out? I mean, and in the old days, this was something that was done all the time. I don't know how much it's done now. Sometimes they want the chaperone because the girl doesn't trust herself. Sometimes it's because they don't trust you. They don't know what kind of guy you are. They want to make sure. They want to get the second opinion, right? So that's what they have to do. Now, I'm not saying if you're going to go out somewhere, you got to take them to some fancy schmancy restaurant that costs you 3,000 baht a head, so that, by the time you get out of there, it's costing you 12,000 baht, and you're like, well, I just paid for this. I mean, if you want to do that, okay, but I don't think it's necessary. You take them out to a halfway decent restaurant, you go somewhere, you do something, you have a good time. Maybe you go out, you splurge a little bit on the first date where she's got her girlfriend or girlfriends with her, so you can see how she is. And maybe if, she has a couple of drinks, things loosen up a little bit. And then on the second date, you don't want to do anything like that. Maybe you go for coffee. Maybe you go, just have a meal somewhere. And then the girl goes home, her friend. Okay, thank you. Nice to see you. Okay. She goes, and that's it. No more with the chaperone. You're allowed to be alone. She may not want to come to your apartment. She may not want to be alone with you in a place where you are totally alone, because she knows, hey, she knows what'll happen. At least with most guys who, they're willing to try a little bit. Number 10, some working women are decent, but career women can be sharks too. Yeah. That's my, what do you call that thing? My air freshener. It sprays every 15 minutes or so and makes the room smell good. I just learned about that thing about a week or two ago, and it's a little bit expensive. It's like $10 to get the mechanism, and it comes with a can of the spray. But then when you want to refill it, it's like $5, $6 to refill it. So, but hopefully it'll last for like 3 months, and then it's worth it. Keep my room smelling fresh. Now about this, just because they're working doesn't mean they're like a working girl, doesn't mean they're out to rip you off. And just because they are a career woman doesn't mean that they're going to be good to you and they will never rip you off. And that's where putting the time in, it matters. And if you come here for 2 weeks and you say to the girl, oh, baby, oh, I think we have such a good thing. I really love you. Oh, honey. And she's like, I love you too. Then you go back and, she's like, can you send me some money? Or she's like, oh, yes, it's love, it's love, it's love. And you're going, wait a minute. I've been here for 2 weeks and I love this girl, but like, who knows what's going to happen? And happens quite often is that guys come here, they have something going on back home, whether it's a relationship, whether it's they have a job they just absolutely do not want to leave. They're making good money. They can't afford to leave. So they come over here on their holiday, and then they meet some girl, and they're promising the world. Oh, yes. What was that? They're promising the world. Oh, I'll come back. Don't worry. I will see you. I will meet you. Oh. But they're not going to. And the girl is waiting and waiting and waiting. And the guy's like, oh, don't, I'll be back soon. Maybe he comes back on another vacation for a week or two. He's with her. Oh, yes, I love you. I love you. He's promising her everything. For 2-3 years, that's all he does. So they're like, fuck this. What do I need this guy for? And that's another thing that this guy doesn't say, is that if you live in another country, you damn sure better be prepared for some hard work to get the relationship to work, because most likely it ain't going to work. Long-term relationships generally do not work. If you're going to live here, you have a much better chance. If you're going to live here and you have no concerns about your income or anything like that, then it could work. And then maybe what happens is you've been here 3 years, you've been in a good relationship, you love each other, everything's good. Maybe you're thinking about starting a family or getting married or whatever. Well, you got to figure out, okay, so if I want to go back to my country, can I bring her with me? How long is it going to take to get her back? Can she get a tourist visa? Which, if she's a bar girl, the chances are very slim. Okay, it just doesn't happen. Unless they got plenty of money, you got plenty of money, you want to sponsor them, and if they go over to where you are, let's say they go to Sweden or wherever it happens to be, and they run off, well, guess what? You're responsible for them. You got to fork over the cash if they don't come back and they don't leave when they're supposed to leave. You're responsible. Do you want to be responsible for them? Now, if you get married and they're able to come over and live with you, then obviously it's a little bit better. But then you got to be prepared for the reverse culture shock on her part. She may come over and just go, ugh. I mean, when my wife went to America before, she was like, wow. Now she's been all over and she kind of understands that, things are different than they are in Thailand. And when she first went to Singapore, she goes, this place is so clean. Why can't Thailand be this way? And I was like, ask your government, Number 11, and this is very true, Sinsot is not mandatory. If you meet the family too soon, could be negative. And it is negotiable, even if there is Sinsot, it is negotiable. And if you get the feeling that, you meet some girl, and listen, this happens all the time. I know this. Guys meet some girl, she's got 2 kids. Maybe she's 35 years old. She's been married once. Maybe the guy cheated on her, and she's like, I'm getting rid of the guy. She gets rid of him, and then she's got 2 kids she's got to take care of. Now, do you want the kids? You want a ready-made family? I would say you better think long and hard about that one, right? But then you got to think about, okay, if it was a Thai person, they would not be paying Sinsod because she's already got kids from another guy. She already got her cherry popped. She already had kids. She's already been married. If you really want to think about it in the way that they think about it, well, she's already a used woman. It's not like she's fresh and she's got a college degree and she's got her whole life ahead of her. No, that's not how it is. So you better think about that. And then you better think about the sinsod that you give needs to be the amount that you can afford. It's, if it hurts a tiny little bit, okay, I understand that. But if you're like going, well, she wants 500,000, Really, I should be 300. And all I got is 520,000. You might want to try to negotiate. And you be very matter of fact about it. You don't have to be difficult. You don't have to be an asshole. You don't have to, get into a shouting match. You don't have to do that. You just be calm and cool. And that actually goes quite a long way. All right. Now, he says he has 12 things, but it's really 13. Number 12, you are entering into a relationship with her and her family. Make sure they are trustworthy and reliable. That's a little difficult to do, but you see where the time thing comes in. And when guys come over for 2 or 3 weeks and they profess their love for the girl, they're just professing, "Oh baby, I love this girl. Oh yeah, I love you so much." It's lust, whatever you might want to call it. And you don't know their family. You don't know her family. You don't know how everybody is, her brother, her sister, her mother and father. You don't know how they are. And so then what are you going to do? You have to meet them. Now, maybe you're in Thailand for 2 weeks and you meet them. You got 2 days left. You meet them. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I think they're pretty cool. You don't really know them. Maybe you go out to lunch with them once, but do you really know them? No. I'm not saying you got to know them for years, but you should actually know them a little bit. You can see by the way that they live. And if you go to their place and you see that, well, I did this once, all right? Very, very cute girl, long time ago, probably 28 years ago. Very cute, very, very cute girl. Petite, nice body, good looking, sweet, very cute girl. Now, she wanted me to meet her parents. This is in Isan. I went and met the parents. I go to her house. Her house is missing 2 sides. It's not enclosed. The floor was not a complete floor. There was a big hole. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to make my house, and see that wood over there? That's what I paid for so far." Now she told me she worked in a factory, but she actually worked in a bar. We go there and I see this and I go, "Oof." I just, okay, they got it hard. And then, I meet the sister. Her sister was wasted. She was drunk. Her sister's, saying rude things to me, crude things to me. Hey, give me 1,000 baht, I'll do this, you know. And I said that to the girl. I don't remember her name now, but I said that to her. Hey, your sister's getting a little carried away, man. She wants to give me a. She goes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But it's telling of what her family is like. The mother and father were okay, but you could tell all they're thinking about is, hey, am I going to get money? And the sister is like, I don't care what I got to do. Give me some money. I'll do whatever. And I just thought, this is not good. It's not a good thing. What do you want to be with? What do you want to get into a family like that for? And I went, no way. No way. And I'll tell you what happened. That night happened. We got it out of the way, whatever. We went back to my place. I had a apartment in the city. And then, we knocked it out. And I was thinking about it, and I just went, this is fucked up. But we were going at it and doing our thing, and I just said, I can't be with this chick. And she said to me, she goes, you're a nice guy. I don't know that I deserve you. And I went, yeah, listen, you're very nice too. You're very sweet, blah, blah, blah. But, I think I got other things planned, and I'm not going to be here much longer. And because I moved to Bangkok then. And then that was it. That was the end of it. And I was like, I'm glad I got out of that one, because I was just like, this ain't going to work, man. I'm not going to have that in my life. I don't want any drama. I don't want any of this, you give me this, and or I want that. And no, that's the end. You start making ultimatums, forget about it. Bye-bye. Say goodbye. All right, number 13, which number 13, this is an extra one from this guy. Um, you might get lucky on the apps, but concentrate on in real life opportunities. Now, I've been saying this for years and years and years. The apps, a lot of them are with girls who they're working. And I mean working like, you want a little something? Well, it's going to cost you this much. Not all of them. You can find some good ones on there, but I'd say that the probability is somewhat limited. And if you're out and about and you're living a life and you're actually prospering, you're not surviving, you're having a good time. You go out, maybe you go out to with your friends to a club one night. Then the next night you go out to dinner, and you go hang out on the beach and have a beer or whatever. You're bound to run into people and meet people. To me, that's the best way. Just randomly things happen. And you can meet 100 random people, and maybe out of them, one or two are ones that you kind of want to stick with. And you give it time. And that's the thing. You come here for 2 or 3 weeks, forget about it. You don't think about it, because it's going to be such a pain in the ass to find somebody that's worthwhile. You want to get laid, that's a different story. It's easy as pie, easy as going to 7-Eleven. But you want to find a girl that you want to be your girlfriend. And I hear a lot of guys going, oh, I'm never getting married. I'm never going to have a girlfriend. Yeah, okay. Then don't. Don't. If you don't want to, don't. That's fine. I understand. On the other hand, if you find the right one, you find a good one, it can be something that's beneficial to you, to her, and it's a great thing. So you should think about that. But now, if you're coming over and you're only here for 2 or 3 weeks, and you might not come back for another year, why are you going to get into a relationship? Because she was so demure, she was subservient, she was so polite and sweet. Okay, and you can't meet another woman like that? I'm sure there are polite and sweet and demure, and I don't know about subservient, but women back in the United States. So if that's what you want, that's what ye shall have. So those are his 13. Yeah, one thing that you need to think about is when you're hooking up, you need to remember they got a family. And you are basically part of their family, and they are part of your family. You're letting them into your life, and they are letting you into their life. Now, I can tell you, with my wife and her family, I get along with them fine. There's no problems. We don't have any problems. We talk to each other. I mean, I speak in Thai to them, and everything's great. But they never, ever come to me and bug me for money. I just let the wife takes care of everything to do with that. It has nothing to do with me. And that is, very, very seldom. And, we have helped on occasion, like when her mother was sick. But, that would be, to me, that's what you do for family. If somebody's down and they need some help, you help them, right? It's not about, oh, I need to buy a new truck. Can you give me, 500,000 baht? No, I can't. What makes you think my 500,000 is any less than yours, or any more than yours? I mean, what do you want from me? So you got to think about these things, And these are some of the things. Now, I'm trying to think of some other things here. One of the things that you might want to do if you are going to get involved with them is discuss the responsibilities in the household, like household responsibilities, the money, what they want for their career. And that's a good one, because the career thing is important, because in the past I was the predominantly the main breadwinner, and my wife took care of the kids when they were little, and that's how I wanted it. I said no, stay at home. So until they were about 6 or 7, then she said, I kind of want to go work. This is what I got my degree for. I want to go work. I said, okay. She went and worked. She didn't make much money, and that was okay, right? But she started working her way up. Now she has a great job. She makes good money. And, it's a little bit reversed, because I don't do much. I don't do much, as far as I don't do much work in the traditional sense. Before I did. I was a journalist, and I worked in boxing. I did all kinds of things. Um, so, that's okay. Her career has went on her path. And all she asks is that I don't give her a hard time about things like coming home late, having to take a trip somewhere. And a lot of times I go with her on the trips. So, that's how it goes. But you do need to discuss that. Something else that you might want to think about: you don't need to raise your voice or get in arguments in public. You want to always try to be polite. And, the other day, my wife was on the phone with somebody. I don't remember who it was. I think it was the insurance company or something. And I heard her going, "Ka, ka, ka." And I knew, oh, she's pissed. Because she's talking to him and she's trying to be polite, but you can hear it in her voice that she was not so happy. And she just went, insurance company. And I don't like insurance companies, hospitals, dentists. I don't particularly like any of them. I like it when they take care of you, but that's about it. So you got to try to remain somewhat polite. Another thing is the PDA. Forget about it. Really. Forget about PDA. Uh, Once in a while, I'll see, like the other day, I saw 2 foreigners on the BTS. And the guy was like kissing on her neck, and she's like kissing him back on his face, and I just went, oh God. And to make matters worse, he was like 300 pounds, and she was like 200, and I just thought, oh Jesus. Prior to moving here, we set terms regarding housing expense, etc. I gave her a monthly fee to handle all the housing expense and food. Yeah, I did that too. I mean, I figured this is what I'll give you. This is how much you should have extra for yourself, and but that changed because now she has her own money. But I think it's very good that you spell out the guidelines as best as you can, right? I mean, if you don't know what's going on and you just go into the relationship, then like if you think to yourself, well, when I go out, I love to hug on my girl and kiss on her, and no, that's Thai people don't like that. Yeah, man, I mean, most of the time it's behind closed doors. That's it. And they don't want to talk about it. They generally don't talk a lot about sex. They don't even talk about relationships all that much. Um, they're somewhat conservative. I mean, somewhat, they are conservative. And so, like I said the other day when I saw these 2 Westerners, kissing each other, and I'm like, man, they just have no idea. They are, because people were looking at them, and I was like going, oh God. Now, once in a great while, I saw an older Thai guy. He had to have been like 50. And he's with a woman. She's like 45, 50. And they're holding hands. And she kind of, leaned into him and kind of gave him a kiss on the cheek. And then he kind of like grabbed her ass like he was playing with her. Yeah, I mean, that people do things. And I was like, well, I guess maybe they just started getting together and they're like, happy that they're together because they're getting intimate. I don't know. But that doesn't happen very often. If you hold hands, that's enough. I mean, I don't know about you, Jim, but like my wife is not like, hey, come here and start macking on me out in public. She would be like, huh? She would be like, no way. What are you doing? You know, uh, holding hands that's about the most you can do. And they don't really think anything about it because sometimes girls hold girls' hands. Uh, some guys hold guys' hands and they may not be gay. Um, so that's something that is it's okay. Um, but anything else, anything more than that, like sitting in the corner of a bar, and not that I haven't done this in the past, but I was in the bar and macking on some chick who was Thai, but it was like we were wasted. That doesn't happen very often. Something else. I know things are changing, but many Thai partners, they expect a serious, committed relationship. When you decide to start going out, you're the only one. They're not banging 5 other guys. And you shouldn't be banging 5 other girls unless, you want to maybe have some problems. And they generally have marriage in mind. Like if they go out with you, that's a serious thing, man. I mean, sometimes you go out with a girl, even if it's just the first time you go out when you're chaperoned or whatever. That's a big deal. It's like the first step. And I know that this is very conservative compared to, say, in the West. And not everyone is like that in Thailand. Of course not. And there are women out there who they've only had relationships with foreigners. And so they may be quite a bit different than other women. Now, personally, I think if you've been with a woman who's been with a foreigner and then now you're going to go and you're going to be the next foreigner, I don't really like that for me. I don't really like that too much. Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a big fan of the sniff kiss. Um, I don't mind, making out. That's fine. And I don't mind getting a sniff kiss either. But I mean, is it all that arousing? Not really. It's not. Well, that's what I mean, is that now things are starting to change a little bit more, and some of the younger generation is like, fuck off. I'm gonna do what I want. That's kind of how they think. So you gotta remember this. But the PDA is a big thing, and the serious relationship with marriage in mind, that's something uh, that is very important. Also, Buddhism and Thai spiritual beliefs, they influence daily life from temple visits to spirit houses and superstitions. Even if you don't share these beliefs, show respect. And that's your wife may believe in ghosts. She may be very scared of ghosts. She may believe in things, and you're going, what the hell? I mean, my wife tells me, oh, I saw something last night in my sleep. I saw so and so in my, last night when I was sleeping. I'm like, huh? But, I understand. Maybe it was a dream. Who knows? Um, but she's also said that she's scared of ghosts. And a lot of Thais are like that. So, and the other thing is if, like as I was saying, if you get somebody who's from a very poor background, this can impact how they view money, work, familial obligations, and they may think differently than you. I see the Burmese all the time, and the Burmese girls, man, they are young. I mean, like they are like 16, 17 years old. They got a kid, and they're walking with their guy, and their guy might be, 18. and they're walking along, and that girl, she probably thinks that guy in their relationship is so important that nothing else really matters. Their kid and her partner is so important. And even in Thailand, I see it. Very young people in relationships, very 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 young people with lots of tattoos. I see this all the time. Which, whatever, you can do whatever you want, but I'm just saying. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of movies, Jim. I've seen all kinds of movies with ghosts and just all kinds of superstitions. But and then, listen, many partners expect some level of financial stability or support, even in a non-bar girl relationship, especially in a non-bar girl relationship. So you want to be clear about your expectations. You want them to be clear about their expectations. And the thing is if you go uh, in a bar girl type relationship, generally it's like, okay, so how much do you need? What do you need? If some guy's, with some bar girl, how much do you need every month? 30,000. I want 1,000 baht every day. Okay, done. Now Now, if she wants to go over that 30,000, then oh, wait a minute. What happened to your agreement? We made an agreement, 1,000 baht a day, 30,000 in a month. You know that. When you go into it with somebody who is a regular standard type of girl, not working in the industry, sometimes things are not as pronounced. They are not always so clear because things pop up in your relationship. If you're in a relationship with a bar girl, you may never even have to think about them with her. You give her 30,000, she goes, I'm going to buy my clothes, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to do that. With some other girl that you're in a relationship, some regular relationship that you're in, they may not ask for any money. They may have their own money, but then once in a while they go, I'm going to go and do this and do that, and we're going to go. We're set up to go to this concert, and the tickets are 8,000 baht each. And they're like, can you pay for them? And you're like, yeah, I guess, but all kinds of things like this can happen. So financial matters expectations do matter. Now, most Westerners tend to be very straightforward in their conversation. And most Thais tend to be, as they say, Mu Jong An, like a cobra. They're very indirect. And they don't want that confrontation. So you have to read between the lines and pick up on the nonverbal cues that sometimes they give. And that may not always be easy because to me, sometimes I'm like, listen, this is how it is. Let's talk about this. And they're like, well, it's okay, but, I would rather have this and that. And you're like, well, how am I going to make you happy? What do you want? And they don't really tell you. You have to kind of figure it out. Even if your partner speaks English, this is one that I already went over, but this is a little different context. Learning basic Thai shows respect and helps with communication, especially with their family. First of all, they respect you for learning the language. And second of all, like I said before, if you know how to speak some Thai, you can listen and hear what they're saying. And you know what they're up to. And if you do this let's say that you've been studying Thai for a year. Your Thai is not going to be fantastic. It should be fairly good, but not great. But you are sitting there listening to your girlfriend talking to her mother or talking to a friend, and you hear certain words, buzzwords, and you start to pick it up, and well, she's talking about this, she's talking about that. I don't know if I like this. And then you can have a chat with her later on and go, so what's the deal with, how much money are we talking about? Because I heard you talking about money. And then you can try to work things out, because the biggest problem that I saw in relationships, in my own relationships and other relationships, between a foreigner and a Thai is miscommunication. You just don't understand each other 100%. And that's what a lot of times you'll hear a Thai woman go, "You don't understand me." So you got to try to be able to understand them. In Thailand, family plays a huge role in relationships. Be prepared for your partner to have obligations to their family, including financial support. Now, I was talking to this guy yesterday, and he told me, he goes, "Yeah, I got this girlfriend, and she makes," what did he say she made? 45,000 baht a month. But she gives her parents 25,000. She feels obligated. She gives them 25,000. She lives off of 20,000. She's like, "It's not enough." Maybe you give your family 10,000 and you keep. But see, that's how a Western mind thinks. To her, it's, I give them this money and then they're so happy and so proud, and you know. So you need to understand that. And you need to understand that in most cases, you get involved with the girl, man, you might be getting involved with a family of 10, a family of 3. You might be getting involved with people that maybe you don't want to even be in any kind of a relationship with. I remember going to one place with a girl that I was seeing, and there was this guy. We went out to dinner, and I paid, and it was like the whole family. It was like 8 people. And I was like, all right, whatever, it's not that much. But, I was kind of like, eh. And then this guy kept hitting me up for money for a beer. And finally, the girl that I was with told him, "No, he ain't giving you shit. You should, get away." So these kind of things happen, and they make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Now, I don't have these problems anymore. Nobody, is leeching off of me or anything like that. And her family is not like that. And that's another thing. If their family is like that, they're always going to be like that. And maybe you can shut them down, but at some point, it's going to be her family and her having to talk about, why doesn't she give you more money? She give them more money. Why are you not giving her more money? And, and in Isan especially, it's all about how much money he give you, how much he make every month. They always want to know. The Thais are nosy. That's the truth. Listen, I go on the motorbike and the guy go, "Oh, you go drink coffee now?" And sometimes I go, yeah, I go drink a coffee. He'll be, "Oh, you now where you go?" "Oh, I'm gonna go to the market." "Oh, you go shopping? I wait for you." Oh, they always want to know what you're doing. Where you go now? What are you doing? And like, to me, I'm like, I just don't even say anything. I ignore them sometimes. And I don't like to do that, but like, I don't want everybody knowing my business. If I go out on a boat, I say, "Take me to the pier. Take me to the pier behind the mall." And the guy's like, "Where you going? What are you doing? Where you go?" And I'm like, "What? You pai tiu, pai ha puen, huh?" And I'm like, oh God, I don't even, I'm like, just don't even talk to me about it. Well, I would like to think, Cyrus, that most relationships include money in the conversation. And some relationships are more about money than others. Um, we're always thinking of money. My wife and I, how can we save money? How can we have more money? How can we do this? How can we do that? But it's not only about the money, you see, and that's the difference. The difference is, if you meet a girl and it's only about the money, then you're in a business relationship. If you have 1,000,000 baht and you're in a hospital and you need to spend that 1,000,000 baht to make sure that you live, and she's got money too, she will fork that money over willingly because she wants you to live. There's a difference. Some girls would be like, that's it, I'm out. They don't want to spend anything, right? I mean, that's just the way that it goes. So I would like to think that, some relationships are not only about money. That's a bit of a stretch, but, whatever. Let's see here. Do I got anything else here? The cultural differences, saving face, indirect communication, family ties, blah, blah, blah. You always got to think about that. Let's see here. Having a shared long-term vision. Make sure you both agree on key issues like where you'll live, family responsibilities, and lifestyle choices to avoid conflicts later on. That's pretty good because you see, like now I'm thinking we want to get out of here because of the air, but we can't. We have too many responsibilities to consider, and moving to another place is not really something that's in the cards at this moment. So we don't, I think about, it'd be nice to have a place to go every, for a couple of weeks or something like that. But the bottom line is I need to be with the family, and, my wife needs to be with the family. So we have a certain way of doing things and thinking about things. And those are our responsibilities. Just like, listen, I don't go out. I haven't gone out much in the last couple of days other than just to, I spent 2 nights at the hospital. Okay, I spent one night and then I came back home, took a shower, and I actually slept at home. I relaxed, and that was really nice. The next morning, boom, I'm there. Then I spent that night in the hospital. My wife came back home. She did everything she had to do, and I just stayed at the hospital, right? And then I came back, and then it was like, oh, I'm going to get out, so you're going to have to come back. Okay, boom. I went back again. So, I mean, it's been hectic, but this is, if you have a family, and, maybe just because you want a girlfriend, maybe you don't want to get married, maybe you don't want a family. But what I would say is if you are young, especially, if you're young and you think, oh, I'm not going to get married, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Okay, it's great that you can just say no, 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 no. But when you've got a girl that you really care about and you think she's great and everything is great, and she says, listen, what do you think? I can wait a year or so, but I don't want to, go through life and not be married. It's, it doesn't look right for them. And then when they get married, it's like, oh, I want to have a baby. Most of them want to have babies. So you got to be prepared for that. You want to get into a relationship, that's what probably will happen. So you need to be prepared. All right, let me read this stuff here. Tamarai is a big conversation starter around here. My neighbors always ask me that. When took her around and she wandered through the neighborhood asking, what are you doing? They thought, nosy. Many relationships are codependency, yet they hate each other. Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of times in relationships, listen, even me, we have our problems, and sometimes she'll be pissed off at me, and I'm like, all right, fine, be pissed off, I don't care. And sometimes I'll be like, well, I don't want you pissed off at me, but the majority of the time that's not how it is. We're in the, I'm sweating like crazy. We're in the hospital and we're just thinking, the only thing that matters is that Alex is being taken care of and he's getting good care. That's all that matters. Doesn't anything else doesn't really matter. This matters that he's going to be okay. That's all I care about. No, I don't hate her and she doesn't hate me. Oh, for brief periods of time she might. I don't know. Oh, I need air. Whew. Oh my God. We got the air conditioner on. And it's nice and cold. But in this room it tends to get a bit hot, which is why I'm sweating. Yeah, well, I mean, Alex, are you still brushing your teeth? No, you done? Now what?
I'm cleaning the syringe.
Cleaning the syringe?
Yeah.
Your mother leave?
Yeah.
She's gone? Okay. What about your ice packs?
It's in
You want to show your face, Alex, so they can see your face? No, you don't want. He looks like a chipmunk. He's a little bit swollen, but you're looking better though. You are looking better. All right, you're full. You're okay. Yeah, yeah, you're good. All right. Well, you're probably gonna have to piss like a racehorse. Yeah, all fluids, man. It's all fluids. I don't know. I don't know what their deal is. What's today? Oh. So anyway, that's the bottom line. See, now Nicholas is down here, and Nicholas is helping. You got to put that in warm water. You put everything in that tray, yeah, and you put it in with cool water and warm water, and then you just let it sit in there, and then you got to put water into the syringes and squirt them out and all that stuff, clean them out. And if you need more syringes, we can get more syringes. So, all right, well, it's chaotic here. We have two cats, all of which want to like jump on Alex and be close to Alex. Nancy is like rubbing all over Alex, and Alex is like, get away from me. Now Nicholas is out of school for 2 weeks because they have the graduation ceremonies going on. So he's going to be home. He's going to be helping us. But Alex is feeding himself, which is great. He's got to go to the doctor on Saturday, which I don't know what's going to be done. I have no idea really, but it's going to be done. And yeah. I feel bad for him, but he's coming along now, and he looks a lot better, and he looks like he's feeling a lot better. But yeah, you know, one thing I did want to say about the Thais being nosy, oh my God, they are just, it's too much sometimes. Sometimes that's why I just don't say anything, you know, and they're always nosy with me. Where are you going? Why are you going there? What are you doing? You going to go Paitio? Where are you going to go Paitio to? I haven't seen you in the last 3 days. What have you been doing? You know, that kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh my God. You know, but, you know, you basically keep your cool. You keep your cool. You don't want to, you know, I mean, listen, there's been plenty of times in the last couple of days where I could have just went off. But I kept my cool, like, you know, like at the hospital, I could have done that a couple of times, you know. But you just keep your cool, and you don't get pissed off, and things generally work out better. Because that's another rule. It doesn't matter if it's with women, with men, with whoever. Keep your calm. Don't get irritated. Don't get pissed off. Don't do that. It just doesn't get you anywhere in Thai society. What it does is it makes them shut down. Right, Nikki?
right.
It makes them shut down. They won't even talk to you. I went into a bank with Alex once. Alex, you remember this? I went in a bank. What was I doing? Changing money or something? Yeah, I was changing like dollars into baht. Is that what it was? Or baht into dollars? No, it was dollars into baht. I was changing dollars into baht. And the woman was like scouring the bills. I got the bills from a bank. And she was looking at the bank, the like $100 bills or whatever. She's looking at them. And then she goes, this one no good. And I go, why is it no good? I got it from the bank. Oh, this no good here. And I just go, let me speak to your manager. And she didn't want to put me through to the manager. And then I said, what's your name? And she didn't want to tell me her name. But I got her name because she had the little name tag out there. So I got her name. And I go, you know, this is really not cool. You're not very nice. You know, you're supposed to change the money. It's not supposed to be a big ordeal, you know. And so, you know, I didn't want to go. At the time, they didn't have like Super Rich and all these other places. These exchanges, what you did, I just went into Bangkok Bank and they changed my money for me. And they always did it very, very nicely, very easily. But I went in with this one lady, and this lady was like, you sit down. I want to look at all your bills. And she started inspecting all my bills. And me and Alex were going, what the fuck, man? Finally, after about 20 minutes, I'm like, listen, what's the deal? You know, why are you doing it? And I did get pissed off at her. I got pissed. And finally, she goes, all right, all right. She's, but she was a bitch. She was a bitch, that lady. And I just went, obviously I'm not going to do something like, jump over the counter and smack the shit out of her. It was just irritating and frustrating because I'm sitting there and I'm like twiddling my thumbs for like 20 minutes because she had to inspect, it was like 5 $100 bills. Like I'm some criminal or something. And I mean, I understand they got to inspect the bills. I understand they want to make sure they're not counterfeit. But I was like, listen, I got these from the bank. Come on, I was like inside the mall. I got them from the bank there, and that bank didn't change currency. So I went to the Bangkok bank used to be on the outside of the mall, which now is part of the food court. And you used to just go right in there, and that was, a very convenient bank. But I tried not to go into the bank. I try not to go into any bank now. I mean, now I don't really think about going into a bank because I just don't want to go into one. Good morning, Dowlo. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into a bank unless I absolutely have to. And, I don't know, when was the last time I've been into a bank? It's been a while. I think I went into one not too long ago, and it was like for my, it was Bangkok Bank. They're on the, I think, 5th floor of the mall. 4th or 5th floor. That's where all the banks are now. They don't have any ATMs. There's only 2 ATMs down below on the ground floor. That's it. They took all the ATMs out. So you have to go up to I think it's the 4th floor. Yeah, because there's another floor above that. And that's where all the banks are. I mean, it's like Bangkok Bank, Siam Commercial, CASHAPP, they're all in one little row. So I went in, I talked about this once. I went in with my bank card from the U.S. I think it's a Visa card or whatever. And so I go to pull money out. And what happened? I went to take money out and what happened was I took the money out and I was like, okay, great. I got my money. I walked away, and then I was going to deposit some of that money. I got something like, I don't know, 50,000 baht or something. I was going to go put it in the CASHAPP Bank. I put the money in CASHAPP Bank, and I thought, how much do I need to go back to Bangkok Bank? I thought, yeah, I got to go back to Bangkok Bank. I went back to Bangkok Bank, and I go, where's my bank card? I mean, it was like 5 minutes. So the bank opens up. As soon as the bank opens up, I said, listen, my bank card is in your ATM. Can you please give it back to me? I need it. And I can tell you what it is, what color, everything. So she goes, oh, yeah, no problem. She goes, sit down. I sit there, and then she comes over. Okay, so where is this from? And I said, well, it's an American card from Truist Bank. Oh, cannot. I go, what do you mean? No, it's international. We have to send a message to the bank, and the bank has to get the card back, and then they'll send you the card back. And I go, no, that's going to take me like a month. I go, I don't know. And I was really holding back with this because I thought if I get pissed off, they're just going to tell me, no, they can't do it. And so finally a lady comes out and she goes, hang on a second. So she puts me on the phone with somebody and they go, so you have this card that was in the bank? And I said, yeah, it's in the ATM. I know exactly what ATM it is. I know, where it should be. It's like, there can't be more than a couple of people that have come after me. She says, okay, let me talk to the lady. I said, all right. The lady comes back and she goes, come outside, you show me. She was not very happy because I was pushing them, I was pushing them, but I was being nice. We go outside. She opens up the ATM. She tells everybody, go to the other ATMs. She wasn't very nice about it either to them. She goes, let me see. So she pulls open the ATM. She just goes, click, here's your card. She hands me the card, and then she goes, oh, no. She goes, wait a minute. I said, oh, okay. We go back inside. She photocopies the ATM, photocopies my passport, which I didn't have. Or did I have it? I think I might have had it, yeah. She photocopied that, and then she goes, you need to sign. So I signed a paper. Then she gives me back the card, and I said, oh, thank you so much. And I haven't been in the bank since then. That was the last time. And now I always, for whatever reason, I don't know why I forgot it, but, I was in outer space. I'm thinking about things, what I got to do, and everything else like that. Dowlo, why are you saying God bless America? Because of everything that's been happening lately? What is this saying? She photocopied something Scott didn't have. That's some crazy magic. A lot of stuff going on in America. I try not to watch the news too much. Not at all. Yeah. Wow. Murder suspect attacked by victim's family in wild courtroom brawl. So many things going on. I hate to say it, but maybe if you looked at the news once a week, it's enough. Then you find out what's going on. You go, is there anything that pertains to me? No. Okay. That's it. Hey, listen, do me a favor. Smash the like button. We don't have a huge number of people in the stream today. I don't know why. Today is what? Wednesday? I'll probably stream on Friday, maybe Saturday, but probably Friday. Depends on how Alex is doing. He seems to be doing quite well now. Yeah. I think I'm really considering living on Koh Samui when I come there. I was looking at rental houses on the beach there. I like what I saw. Sure, not dirt cheap, but it's still very affordable. The one thing you want to think about with Koh Samui is that, first of all, yes, it's not cheap, but the prices on the island are not necessarily that cheap because it's an island. Not only that, you can get island fever. Not only that, it's expensive, fairly expensive to fly there and fly out. And not only that, but Koh Samui has the Koh Samui Mafia there that, with the transportation system, it can be a little bit ridiculous. I would suggest if you're going to live there, get yourself a motorcycle, rent yourself a motorcycle. I don't know how long you're going to stay there, but that's what I would do. And I personally, I like Samui. It's a nice place, very beautiful, but I don't know that I would live there, honestly. You got to watch your P's and Q's. Oh, God. Well, listen, I try not to think too much about what Trump is going to do. I think he's done a great job, and, he's very proactive. That's all I got to say. He's very proactive. He does a lot, and I think he's done a lot more than Biden did his whole term. And, yeah. But I don't want to watch everything that he's doing because I got other things to think about. I don't want to just think about what's the president doing now? What's going on in America? Oh, my God. And believe me, I get all kinds of messages every day from people. And most of the time, I'm like, this doesn't matter. I say it all the time. It doesn't matter to me. I don't live there. I don't care. I care about things that affect the world and me. Not just if they affect the world, but not me, I don't really care. I'm selfish like that. You know. Now, as I was saying, we don't have very many people watching today for whatever reason, but we have some. And it would be nice if you guys would click the thumbs up and subscribe and share and show the love in all the different ways you can show the love. That would be great. I would appreciate it. I put up a thing, I just wanted to see, but I put up a goal today of 10 people contributing 100 baht. And guess what? Not a one today. So the air quality is shit. You really want to know the truth? It's shit. It's like 150 right now. So, you know, it's unhealthy. Yeah, okay. I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm saying that for $1,600, you're going to be a little bit limited as to what you can do. I mean, you know, I've said it before. You can live in Thailand fairly well for $1,500. Gone are the days where you can get by and live very well for $1,000. You live like a king. It's not going to happen. If you really want to live like a king, you're going to take into consideration things that most people don't take into consideration. You're going to think about your insurance. You're going to think about dental care. You're going to think about clothing. You're going to think about all kinds of things. Right? Now, $1,600 on Samui, yeah, you can do it. I don't know if if his girlfriend makes any money or what she's doing, but, you know, uh, yeah, well, then you should be all right, you know. Although, as I said, there are other places you might want to consider besides Samui. Phuket and Samui, they have what's known as the mafia. And Koh Tao, they have the mafia there. So if you perhaps run into some people or you need transportation or anything like that, you know, it may be a little difficult for you. But I would not let that stop you from going there. I would just consider that and take that into your consideration. Um, Give me a good beachside location, Kanome. Kanome is all right. Kanome is all right, but there are some other places. You know, Kopangan, Kokut, Phi Phi, but you know, Phi Phi is very touristy. I mean, Samui is touristy. You know, you want to be around all the tourists? See, that's the thing. I don't personally. I don't want to. You could go to Sichon, which is not Kanome, but it's farther, farther south. Plenty of places you can go. 30 years ago, let me tell you, I remember going down the Ma Ping in I think it was Chiang Rai, and I could get a bungalow very easily, all day, all night, no more than 400 or 500 baht a night, and that was like, it was nice, a nice bungalow, and you know, I could live for maybe another 15,000 baht. I could live quite well. You know, what would you be doing differently today if you had 250,000 in your bank account? Well, first of all, what makes you think I don't have 250,000 in my bank account now? Um, you know, really. I'm not rich, but I'm definitely not poor. Poor is a frame of mind, also. Any Thai beach that hasn't got thousands of beach umbrellas and deck chairs for rent. That's what you want. You know, um, yeah, I do use crypto, not all that much. We have crypto, but we're very careful about how much we use, just in case. I don't know how much we have, but we have, I don't know, what is it? Maybe $2,000 in crypto, that's it. 70,000, so it's a little bit more. The beach in Eastern Rayong that I've looked at has all the chairs and umbrellas. No one is ever there. In vids I've watched, looks dead as hell. That doesn't mean that people don't want money for those chairs. Um, you know, so anyway. Let's see here. Today I think I have to get, I don't know if I got to get Alex. Oh, you know what I need to get him is some ice packs. Right, Alex? Ice packs. More ice packs for Alex. No, I know, Scott, but Dowlo said avoid these spots because of tourists. Well, I mean, honestly, to me, why do you want to come here to stay in a tourist zone? Why? That's why I don't want to go to Pattaya. It's all tourists. I don't want to be around tourists. I don't want to be around all the Chinese and the Koreans and the Japanese and the Americans and the British and the Indians and the. I just don't want it. It's too much for me. No, it's not. It's the same way that it's always been. I don't, not really. Pattaya, the lint trap of the world. Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. Anyway, you guys want to go live in a tourist zone? Go ahead. Have at it. To me, I was talking to Sammy, TkyoSam, and I asked him, I said, I know some places to stay, but listen, if you know some, let me know. I kind of like to know. Um, and he said, what do you want? You want like a party area or you want something quiet? And I said, I want something quiet, man. I don't want a party area. I can go to the party area once or twice in a week if I really want to go, and I can stay in my quiet little area and have peace, and I don't have to listen to anything. Which Kochang? That's what I'm asking. Which one? Which one are you talking about? If you're talking about the one in the east, it's a tourist trap. And it's nice, but it's a tourist trap. Listen, there's tourists all over that island. I've been there like 10 times. I stayed there for about 2 weeks on one occasion. And I like it there, but at the end of the day, um, it's a tourist zone. Now, you want to go to Koh Chang in the south, it's much nicer, and there are almost no tourists there. But there are two Koh Changs. There is one to the east and there is one to the south. Now, I went to the one in the south, and there are very few people. Very few people on the island. I mean, I loved it. I had such a great time there. Carlos, how you doing? It was such a nice time there. And it was cheap. That place was cheap. Now, this is probably 6, 7 years ago. And I stayed at the, what was it called? The Almond, oh no, what the hell was it called? The Cashew Resort or something like that. Um, well, Robert, what do you want to stay in central Bangkok in a high rise for? I don't know. If you want to stay there, go for it. But yeah, they're not cheap. Listen, I know people staying in places that are 30,000 baht, and it's not that big. Okay? It's not big at all. Let me see something here. Nicholas, what are you doing?
Trying to get an ice pack on his face.
Oh, well, if he needs help, he can come in here and I will. What, you can't get it on there?
No.
Oh, God, Nicholas, come on. What? Alex is all pissed off. What does it say here? Not nearly as much, but okay, it might be now. I mean, it's been a couple years since we've been there. What do you want to say, Alex? Alex is all pissed off because Nicholas can't put uh, his ice packs on. My God. No, that we're talking about. I don't want to be rude, but there's last 15 minutes. He can't even put it on. Oh my God, Alex, I'll help put it on. All right, just come in here and relax. Jesus Christ. Oh God, no, no. You're talking about the one to the east. Lonely Beach is in the east. It's not in the south. All right, come here. All right, you're gonna have to come over here a little bit. All right, so you put that up. Come down here. Kneel down. All right. This thing's not even that cold anymore. Okay, now let's pull this up. There we go. Perfect. Go show him. Oh, God. Well, I've been to Kakut, and it's great. I'm sitting here watching you and all the bunnies jumping everywhere. Bunnies? Was looking at the... Oh, wait a minute. Let's see here. Lonely Beach there. Yes, in the south. Oh, okay. I like Kochang in the east. Jim, if you haven't been to Kochang in the south, to me it's much better than the one in the east. The one in the east is very nice, but it's not as nice as the one in the south next to Kopayam. I didn't say I wanted one. What about Kokut? I liked Kokut when I went there, but we were staying in a resort and it was very nice and it was, the Gulf of Thailand, Kochang. What did you do, Carlos? Some psychedelics? Bunnies jumping everywhere. Do we have bunnies? You know what I haven't done in a long time? Maybe I should do this. Fentanyl and oxy on board have been hurting pretty bad. Yeah. Well, that'll do it. I love that fentanyl. It's good stuff. Um, and oxy is obviously good. Alex was on the fentanyl and morphine for a brief period of time, for about 2-3 days. Then they transitioned him from fentanyl to morphine, and then from morphine to something else, which I don't know what it was, and now he's on paracetamol. But he's not in that much pain. He's all right. Although he was trying to put the gel packs on his face. He has them like this, and then they're wrapped around his head. And Nicholas couldn't put it on. And then he came in here. I went, boom, it's on. 2 seconds, and he's like, how come you can do it and Nicholas couldn't? Well, Nicholas needs a little more practice, so. Saba Island. No, I don't think I have been. I've been to Borneo in Indonesia, but I haven't been to Saba Island, no. So, Carlos, I hope you feel better. It's rough, man, that you're in pain all the time. No, I've been to Borneo and Indonesia. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, you got to take care of yourself, man. And, pain is no joke. Joe, thank you very much. Wow, I can't believe it. I got a super chat today. Thank you, Joe. Very nice of you. I was starting to think that, like, nobody loved me. Ah, there goes my little spray. Smells good. Still working. So, I don't know what it is about people. You're still here, Joe? I need to go to the gym, man, but I gotta watch Alex, and I can't take off for say 2 hours, hour and a half. I just can't do it. I could be gone for a half an hour, but you know, he's pretty much self-sufficient now. But I just want to make sure that he's going to be taken care of. You know, once he gets, they may put metal braces on, metal wire on instead of elastic because it's a little more sturdy and it holds your mouth a little bit better. But that means more tension on his mouth. And so I don't know if they're going to do that or not. Maybe, but that might happen this weekend. And yeah, so he's got. This is a long process, man. That's why I said I don't wish this on anyone. Nobody, even my worst enemy. I don't. Well, maybe my worst enemy, but okay. If your jaw is broken, first of all, you're only drinking liquids for the first week or so. After that, you might be able to have a little bit of yogurt or something like that. But cleaning your mouth is not all that simple. Keeping your mouth clean and your teeth brushed and the junk out of your mouth and the phlegm that goes down. If you have if you start coughing or you laugh, it hurts. And not only that, you can choke. So that's something, to be careful of. But he seems to be doing pretty good. But, we just have to see. And it depends on what kind of jaw surgery you have and all this other kind of stuff. There's all kinds of things. And there's things on the internet about it. And Alex, I didn't know this, but Alex was very proactive to where he was researching what it would be like to have that surgery. Alex had jaw realignment surgery. So he's got a broken jaw, basically. He has a broken, fractured jaw. And they put it back into the right place so that it's perfectly straight. And then they put all these elastic bands on to keep his mouth in place. And maybe on Saturday he's going to have to get the metal put into his mouth. We're not sure yet. And that's for maybe 2-3 weeks. And then after that he can eat a little bit more dense food. But he still can't eat, food that he has to chew. He can't do that for like 3 months. He's got to eat like yogurt. I was saying yogurt milk, but my wife said, no, it's too sticky. If you need anything to help him, let me know. Oh, thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that. You know what? He's been having these problems. And at the same time, let me just tell you something. If you guys know what plantar fasciitis is, I used to have it about 12 years ago. I had it, and I went to physical therapy 3 times a week, every week for a year before they finally got it to where I didn't really feel it anymore. And it's come back. And now it's just, if you have it, it's a miserable feeling on your foot. When you walk, I limp now because it's so painful. It's gnarly, man. And then he's going through this, and I'm trying to help him with it. I'm limping around, and he's trying to get everything done. Now, right now, he's probably going to sleep. And he'll sleep for probably another hour and a half or two. And then he'll come back down and he'll feed again. And that's a 2-hour, 2.5 hour process to feed him, brush his teeth, clean his mouth, give him medicine, put the Vaseline on his lips so that they don't get too dry. There's all these things. So it's part of being a father, I guess. But that's the way it goes. This is, as I've said from the very beginning, the life and times of an American in Bangkok. This is what goes on here. I don't say I'm the most talented video maker or streamer, but I just tell it like it is. Oh, thanks, Carlos. That's nice. Yeah, yeah. That I'm sure that it would help him. He's he got the right mindset, but it's not easy to get through it. He did tell me. He said, I'm going to get through this easily. I don't think it's going to be that easy, pal. So you just got to do what you got to do, and he's gritting it out. But he did say that he did research on it, and he said that people were saying that the first week is usually hell, and after that it gets easier. And I think actually now it's Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday. Today's day 5, and I think it's starting to get a little bit easier because he knows exactly what to do. We have everything. He's going to come down, boom, everything's right on the table for him. We have stuff, we put the milk in, we put this in, we put that in, boom, he's ready. He gets the syringe, he pulls out the syringe, he puts the tube in his mouth, he's eating. So thank Buddha for protein drinks. Anyway, I think it's about time to go. I got things to do, people to see, all kinds of important stuff to do. And I need to make sure Alex is okay also. That's very important. That's top priority. So that's all I got. That's all I have. I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok for who knows how long. And I guess I'll see you when I see you, which probably will be Friday or Saturday. I will give them all your well wishes. Yes, indeed. Okay, yeah. I don't know when you're going to be back over here, but all right, Jim. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, get well, Alex. Get well, Alex. Get well. What was that on Seinfeld? Get well. What the hell was it? Get well soon. Get well. They had all kinds of songs for everything that was going on in the office, Elaine's office. I thought it was pretty funny. But anyway, the 21st. Okay, so today's the 5th. Okay, all right. Well, I'm sure he'll be in the next stage by then. We'll see what happens. So, thank you. And yeah, like I said, that's all I got. Make your relationship work. Be decent. And hopefully it will work. That's usually how it works. If you're decent and they're decent and you just stay decent, things work out, So anyway, Choke D, good luck. Jerk and and see you later. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. We'll talk to you all later. Ciao. Adios. Arrivederci.